I know very well that there are so many great games out there, and not all of them are going to get the recognition they deserve. For this game, I'm not even sure about its sales numbers, but I imagine it's not even close to the amount this game deserves. I truly believe The Somnium Files is an incredible game and has not gotten the recognition it merits. Part of the reason I make these videos is to help increase attention to games I think deserve it, and The Somnium Files may be the perfect candidate for that goal. What is it about this game that makes it exceptional, though? The Somnium Files is an adventure murder mystery visual novel developed and published by Spike Chunsoft. The game was written and directed by one of the premier visual novel writers/directors in the field, Kotaro Uchikoshi, who previously worked on the Zero Escape games. Of course, that means more to people who, unlike me, are knowledgeable about the visual novel genre, but he seems like a respected writer and director, and he certainly brings experience to this game. The character designs for the game were made by Yusuke Kozaki, whose work you may recognize from video game series such as No More Heroes and Fire Emblem. The game came out in North America on September 17, 2019 for the PS4, Switch, and PC. It came out in Japan 2 days later and Europe 1 day after that. The game's physical release, though, didn't happen in North America until the 24th due to increased demand. Hopefully, this means that the game sold well, although actual sales figures have been hard to come by, although the reviews were certainly positive. The almost simultaneous worldwide release was also an amazing feat given the large amount of text and complexity of that language, but I'll get into that in the localization section of this video. For now, let's get our hands into the background and story for the game. The game is set in Tokyo in an unspecified future year, technologically much the same as our present with only a few significant advancements in technology. You play as Kaname Date, a detective for the Advanced Brain Investigation Squad, more commonly known as Abyss. He is also a syncer, a person who can sync with a specialized machine to enter people's dreams and gather clues and evidence. Date has a form of amnesia that came into effect 6 years ago that wiped all his memories from before then. Before his amnesia happened, he lost one of his eyes, which was replaced by an artificial intelligence named Aiba, who serves as his partner throughout the game. She can communicate with him through his mind and even appears physically during the syncs. The game's events kick off with a murder, unsurprisingly, and deal with Date's efforts to solve that initial murder and stop the killer from committing more. Besides Date and Aiba, there are quite a few standout members of the cast, although special shout out for me goes to Mizuki, the spunky preteen who is one of my favorite characters ever. In fact, pretty much the whole cast is terrific. Their interactions with each other especially add to the playing experience. Seeing Date's reactions to the shenanigans of the other characters is amazing, and equally amazing are the rest of the cast's reactions to Date when he's the one up to his shenanigans. The excellent back and forth between characters is at its best between Aiba and Date. They have such great chemistry, it's great to listen to them interact. The character moments form the heart of the whole game and lend great emotional weight to all of the events that happen down every timeline of the game. Listing off all of the great characters of the game would almost certainly end with listing every single character, which is an incredible accomplishment by the writers. The writing itself for the story, dialogue, and even flavor text for objects is marvelous. It feels lively and realistic, creating an excellent world to explore with deep characters and a narrative that makes you want to keep coming back for more. I truly hope that at some point a sequel to this game is made because I feel like I could spend another 30 hours with these characters and not get tired of it at all. I also have to commend the localization team for handling an incredibly tough script. Why is it such a tough script, you may ask? Well, so many interactions between characters involve wordplay, puns, double entendres, and spoonerisms when corresponding letters get switched between words, an example being "Nobody's Nerfect," rain down throughout the game, not to mention all the references to real-world things, most of which went right over my head. The creators have made a vibrant world that's a whole lot of fun to interact with, and that continues into the gameplay. Most of the game is spent in visual novel form, where you are simply talking with the characters and making dialogue choices. During almost every single one of these scenes, though, you should take the time to click on all the objects in the space. Some of the time it just has regular text describing the object, but at others you get dialogue about the object involving the people present at the time. That's not the major gameplay part, as fun as it is. Seriously, if you pick up the game, interact with everything you can. No, the main gameplay happens during the syncs, once you have entered someone's Somnium. Once you have dived into a person's Somnium, Aiba takes over as the main character of focus. You move Aiba around the Somnium and interact with various objects as you try to puzzle out the person's thinking and unlock their mental locks. This is the mode in which you'll discover a lot of important information about the case. However, you can only stay in Somnium for 6 minutes, which you will constantly be reminded of, and so you need to be careful. The cool thing for this game though, for those nervous about time limits, is that time only progresses when you are moving around with Aiba. If you stand still, the timer is technically going, but at a minuscule rate that doesn't really affect anything, so you don't need to feel rushed. If you do happen to run out of time though, the game will just let you retry, either from a previous checkpoint in the Somnium or from the beginning. Each Somnium is a unique puzzle, and on quite a few of them there are multiple ways to get to the end. Depending on your choices in Somnium, the story will progress in very different ways. This is where the path divergence happens in the story. The only other gameplay that happens is some occasional quick-time events and some moments of interrogation when you present evidence you've gathered outside of Somnium to a potential suspect or important witness. These moments aren't all that notable, but they are there to occasionally change the typical gameplay loop. You track all of the events of the story and the branching paths in a convenient flowchart. You can switch between different parts of the story at pretty much any time. This system is helpful for many reasons, making it easy to change paths once necessary in-game, which happens on a couple occasions since some routes can stop you from progressing until you complete another path. The flowchart is also very helpful for post-game stuff like achievement hunting, or if you are like me, gathering footage to use in videos. On the topic of footage, let's talk presentation. The art is a standout in most areas. I think the best of those areas are the unique design and feel of the various Somniums in the game and the character designs. The Somniums look dreamlike in properties, usually being distorted visions of real-life locations, and each of the characters' designs works wonderfully with their personalities, enhancing their liveliness. The background pieces in the locations are likewise fully detailed, which helps make the game look great. One thing that isn't as smooth though is the animation of movement in cutscenes, which comes across a bit stiff. I don't begrudge it though, it's only for small moments, and I'm pretty sure it was just that the budget got used for other important things. The music sets the atmosphere effectively. It's not a soundtrack I'm likely going to be listening to in my downtime, but the pieces fit nicely with the game and had a great range. It had the foreboding, mysterious pieces necessary for a game like this, but I also has great moments of life and levity, and the soundtrack provides the tunes to suit the mood in those moments as well. The character themes are appropriate for each character as well, and I love me some good character themes. For me though, the highlight portion of the presentation was undoubtedly the voice acting. Almost all the lines in the game are voice acted, and the cast gives magnificent performances across the board. Greg Chun is fantastic as Date, nailing his serious moments and the times when he is a goofy perv. Erica Harlisher continues to be one of my favorite actors currently working, with an excellent performance as Aiba, who can range from menacing to giddy in a matter of seconds. Date and Aiba's interactions are especially great because of how well they build off of each other. Karina Bodiger, and I am very sorry about that pronunciation of your name since it's probably wrong, as Mizuki is also a noteworthy performance showing amazing range. Like with the characters, if I listed all the great performances, it would be pretty much everyone, so here's a list of their names. Appreciate them. Their excellent work on this game added so much to my enjoyment. I simply cannot get enough of these characters, in part because of their work. I will repeat this until the day that YouTube collapses into a black hole and brings down everything around it, but this game deserves more recognition. It is a fantastically fun game with a thrilling story, memorable characters and performances, solid presentation, fun puzzle-like gameplay, and so many details that will make you appreciate all that went into making this incredible game. You owe it to yourself to pick up the Somnium Files if you are at all interested. It's on pretty much every platform and has had several amazing sales recently, and likely has more on the way. Now is the time to dive in and see why its fans are so passionate about it. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, comment below about why Mizuki and Aiba are the best, and subscribe for more video game content, and another video in the future. Have a great day, and happy gaming!